Okay guys, we're back on the Dart 007 heads. Yesterday I did some more work on the short side radius using some logic and air speeds and made it a little bit wider, tilted it a little bit, trying to get some of that fuel spread that we saw moved off to the side a little bit. And what I was actually rewarded with was what we got in this column right here. Definitely knocked our peak back a little bit from 269 and change to 264. Now, is that big a deal? Not really. And somebody mentioned, Charlie, what you need to do is shoot that dykem through a manifold. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't really think the dykem will go all the way through the manifold to the head. Is it worth a try? Yeah, but I didn't do it. I actually did do the dykem on this run here, which I decided to change the back cut to a larger back cut and was rewarded with a decent increase on everything but 050, right? No. 010 we got a little bit of a loss, which is good. I'd rather have these low and have an increase in the middle, which is what we got, right? 109, 112, 142, 148, 172, 180. That's a nice pickup. 198 to 207. 207 at 300 is an excellent number. Okay? 223 to 230. 243 to 249. 264 to 267. So far, the best we've done is 269. If we don't get to 269, I originally said I'd probably get these to 275. I don't know if I want to make the port that much bigger. If I can't find out exactly where the problem is, I'm going to be happy with that. But the comment about the intake manifold made me think, and I'm like, you know what? He's absolutely right. If I take that 007 head and I put it on like the old work truck, the old work truck's got a set of 083s that I did in the early 90s. They probably only flow 235. So if I put a head on like this that flows 267, that'd be quite a pickup, right? But that's the exact same manifold I'm running on the truck right now. True, my manifold's ported. This one is not ported. Want to see how much it knocks it back? Well, let's take a look at this column and this column. Oh, I should mention that manifold in question, Holly Street Dominator, which is really a very, very similar design to the Edelbrock Performer. And when I say similar design, meaning the upper H has bigger runners than the lower H. Okay? And how they counter that a little bit is the lower H has got the deeper plenum. The deeper plenum makes a big difference how it feeds the cylinders. But I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to measure those cylinders out for you in a minute. Let's just go over these flows, and I think you'll be surprised at how much that manifold absolutely kills it. The carb, 770 truck Dominator with a Holly K and snub. Oh, forget it. You know what it means. This radius makes a big difference. I want to say I measured it around 6 CFM heads. That was a while ago. Okay, take a look. The small runner. And we can compare it right to the head here, right? You drop. You're dropping 11 CFM at 20 already. Okay? From 207, you drop down to 173. Absolutely painful, right? 230 to 185. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's it. That's all you're getting. 204. Now, can you make some horsepower with 204? You can. But you were thinking you were flowing 267, but you're not. Now, take a look at the upper H, which has a little bit bigger runner. All right, you're comparing these two now. It definitely has less of a loss all the way across, right? It's got 11 CFM right there, better with the bigger H. Okay, now the next question is, Charlie, why would the manufacturer do anything like that? That's ridiculous. Why would they make one set of runners not flow as well as the other? And it's a good question. Well, what happens to the 4 cylinders that are being fed with the smaller, faster runner versus the larger, slower runner? This has a different torque curve. Those 4 cylinders are going to have a different torque curve. It's going to peak at a lower RPM than these guys. Okay? So what happens if you take 2 torque peaks? Literally, you have 2 4-cylinder engines attached to the same crankshaft, right? With totally different torque curves. Well, totally different. They peak at a different place. So, what it does is it flattens out the torque curve. Makes it a very drivable combination. Anyone who's had those manifolds, it's a really good street manifold. You probably didn't realize that they absolutely stomp your airflow to death. Okay? True, it's unported, but dual planes are a bear to get everywhere. I mean, in order to really port a dual plane everywhere, you got to drill holes in them and make a mess, which I actually have one of them right here. Look at this horror show. Oh, God. If I told you how much work went into that, you would not believe it. This has had a hole drilled here, right? It's had weld filled in here. Same thing back here. This is what I call Brzezinski copy, but I think the original design David Vizard had in one of his books. It was a quadrajet EGR. You cut the plenum out, weld a plate on top. It's a sleeper thing. I mean, I did this in the very early 90s. Take a look at how rough I used to make them, because it's a carb. So that's how rough I would make the plenum on a carb. And it actually works pretty good. If I put that on the bench for you, within a couple days, we'll see what that does. I'm willing to bet it's better than the Holly by quite a bit. All right, let's see if we can pause this, and I'm going to measure those runners. Okay, you can see perfectly stock plenum. It's actually designed quite well. Wait, see how it kicks out? A good intake should always kick out underneath. What you want to do is you want the carb going from a smaller opening to a larger opening. That drop in pressure instantly vaporizes the fuel. And let's see what we can see. Notice how deep this is. Nice deep plenum. That's great. Deep plenum doesn't hurt. This actually has the EGR holes in the bottom. Oh, let's see if we can see. Okay, you can see the upper H. And then take a look at how much smaller the lower H is. Not only does it come in at a worse angle, it's much smaller. Let's measure that for you guys. Okay, guys, that's what we got. 1.85 inches tall, 1.145 wide on the big port, 1.41 tall on the short port, 1.130 wide on the short port. Huge difference, right? Okay, guys. I figured since I changed the back cut on this, I wanted to, and I did some work to the short side radius. Excuse me. What I was trying to do is get more flow over to this side of the chamber, right? Because, well, actually, that's wrong. That's where, let's just open it up and see what we got. Okay. Well, obviously, whatever I was doing worked, because that's way wider than it was. It's wider on the chamber, and it's way wider in the bowl. And the mark is way wider. I'm going to say that's a win. I've been trying to spray the exact same amount of blue each time. I'm going to say that these really like that wide back cut. Not bad on here at all. Okay, let's see what we got inside. I know it looks easy, guys. Can't you see anything here? Okay. I don't see anything on the roof. On the floor, I should say. What I was really trying to do is get some more flow over to this corner. Where are we? Here we go. I was trying to get more flow over to this corner. And I had very high airspeed numbers on that side, but that's not where the fuel wants to go. Getting the fuel to follow the airstream can be difficult, but that's what you really need to work on. The pinch is still very, very fast in these. These do not have a huge amount of metal. I mean, the way this is cast, this one's paper thin, this one has a 1/10. So, yeah, I can take some metal out of the center. I haven't done that yet. I've taken a little bit out of the roof, but not much. Let's see. Okay, these are just about done, guys. See what you can see on these. Oh, you know what? It looks like there's a little bit of blue in that left corner. Is that my imagination? It obviously is my imagination. Okay. You can see this short side is not perfect the way I would like it. It still has some of the original machining marks and so forth in there. You can see that dip there. I'm not thrilled about that. Actually, it looks like a dip. It's actually a high spot where the sandcloth was getting at it. You can see I added a little bit more to that throat cut, so it doesn't come right to the seat anymore. It was an experiment. It didn't really work great on this. The guide boss has done about as good as I'm going to get on these. These are coming to the point where they're almost done. I took some more speeds. Pinch is still too fast. Okay. The roof is not bad. Those are almost even. I'm pretty happy with that. Short side radius is still fast. And it's fast. It's really fast on this side, which is usually tough to get the air on that side of the short side radius. You can see you got more airspeed on the roof at that side too. Where am I? Here I am. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I can open that up a little bit more on that whole side. I got plenty of metal still in these, but I like that they're right around 180 cc's too. You know, 180 cc's, 267. I think I mentioned in another one that's right around AFR CNC numbers. I think it actually beats AFR CNC numbers by a bit. So if you're beating AFR CNCs with an older iron casting, you're doing fairly well. By the way, every time I put an AFR on my bench, it always reads a little bit lower than advertised. Not bad, you know, but just happens to be that way sometimes. You know, sometimes. Who am I kidding? The manufacturers always seem to be down a few CFM. Let's see if see what we got here. I did a little bit of work on the exhaust, and I probably should have left them alone. I biased it a little bit more. Didn't help. So better off with leave it in a little bit tighter. Still has excellent exhaust flow, so I'm not going to worry about it. I do think it's very interesting how it always looks so much different on the camera and when I rewatch the video than it does just by looking at it. Now, if I look at it in this picture right here, the way the light is, it looks like there's a huge dent in that corner. I assure you, there's no big dent in that corner. But it definitely looks that way. You know what? On second thought, there's a dent in that corner I got to take out. Okay, well, good to know. Let's see if I have the same thing on this one. I don't really see it on that one. That one actually looks better. That's a better looking port than this one. This is the one we've been doing the development work on. I should add, testing a manifold, at the very least, you got to stuff the runners that you're not using with a good solid foam, or duct tape them closed. You only want to pull through one runner. Otherwise, your numbers are going to be completely whacked out, because you pull right through one runner, through the intake manifold, and you're not getting an accurate representation of what's going on. All right, guys. Thanks.